Welcome to The Authentic Exchange, where real men have real conversations and engage in authentic communication. I'm Josh Bird, and I'll be your host. We have a special guest with us tonight. We got brother DeAndre with us. He's 29 years old from Syracuse, New York. He's a father, he's a husband, he's a brother, and I just wanted to bring him on. I think the brother has a very powerful story. I think that him sharing his story will be of great benefit to those that are listening. Looking forward to, him sharing this message on tonight. DeAndre, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Josh. I really appreciate it. Been waiting to get this done for a while here, but really appreciate you having me on the show and being able to tell my story here to the people.
Well, hey, man, I want you to go ahead and jump right in.
Again, my name is DeAndre from Syracuse, New York. Syracuse is just like any, I would say neighborhood in our urban neighborhood across the America. I grew up very humble beginnings. The place I grew up on the south side of Syracuse. Growing up there, for most people, it could be challenging. Biggest thing for me growing up is I always was a big guy, so I always played football or any sport really. Played football, basketball, baseball growing up, but football is the one that really stuck with me. Coming out of high school, I made my way to Hobart College in Geneva, New York, which was a small Division III school where I studied history and African American studies, double major. During my time there, I had the opportunity to graduate with a 3.0 after a rough start. Going to Hobart College for me was a culture shock. The school that I went to was only about 2,500 kids. I was finally the first time in my life that I could see being the minority. One of the few African American kids on campus, but I so happened to play sports. During my 4 years there, it exposed me to a lot. It let me know that Syracuse, New York, it was a lot more in the world than Syracuse, New York. I was able to be around some good people. It motivated me a lot growing up. Just when I left Hobart, that was the growing up for me. The reason why I feel like I am who I am today comes a lot to do with like my upbringing as a child. And even now, like me, Josh, we have conversations all the time, about life, and for me, life didn't start becoming a real thing until, I had to start putting responsibility on myself. I'm one person that I'm a very serious person. So everything is full go. I'm always analytical about different things. I just remember being in college and having an opportunity my senior year of even think about playing professional football in the NFL, and seeing the different coaches at practices every day, and just being that exposure. I know a lot of kids where I come from, they're like, man, that's NFL, that's a big dream. But for me, it was humbling because I really didn't want that. After a while, I start seeing myself I need to start thinking about what's my job gonna be like post-graduation. What I'm gonna be doing in the next 5-10 years down the road that's gonna be something I can stand on that's not athletics. That's always been my biggest thing when I was in school was what I'm gonna do post-graduation, because the field that I did in college is double major in history and African studies. Typically you become a teacher. Everyone's like, oh, so you're gonna become a teacher after college? And I'm just like, Maybe, because at the time I was doing a lot of like volunteering coaching at my old high school, and I seen what it was like, but I knew teaching wasn't for me. I like kids, I love young kids, love being around them, but I just knew I felt like it was more in this life than for me than just being a teacher. And there's no offense to any teachers out there, no offense in the world. I just knew it wasn't for me. Coming from where I come from, I knew I wanted to make a lot of money, and
Why is that?
because at the time I felt like if you had a lot of money, you had security. So my biggest thing is I wanted to always be secure and bouncing around a little bit. That's the biggest thing that I always wanted. I always told myself when I get older, my kids won't go through what I'm going through right now. Even though it wasn't that bad, for me, maybe as a kid it seemed like it was a little overblown, but as I got older, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have this money, and everybody in my family always said, like, you're gonna go to NFL and you're gonna take care of your grandmother, your mother, and everyone. And I'm one person that's always trying to help people. Like, that's my favorite thing to do, is help people. To a fault sometimes.
So let me ask you this, man. Okay, as a man, do you feel like, hey, this desire for security, this desire to help people, to make sure that, the folks around me are good, do you feel like that has impacted you in a positive way, a negative way? Has it ever felt overwhelming? Because I can definitely identify with that need. You feeling like, you said sometimes you were looked at as the oldest, even though you weren't. Have you ever felt like there was a lot of pressure on you to, be the person when people look at you like, hey man, you're the person that's going to go to the NFL, or you're the person that's you're going to make it. You know what I mean? When you get that label stamped on you, that can bring a lot with it. How did that affect you?
I think it affected me both in a positive and a negative way.
Okay.
I would say positively because I'm the type of person, I'm real goal oriented. So for me, climbing the ladder is like me closing my goals. So like as I got older, of getting better opportunities, getting better jobs, and doing different things, it helped me in a positive way, but it also helped me in a negative way, because being the oldest and my desire of helping people sometimes put me in the fault, because it puts a lot of pressure on me, because I find myself taking on more than what I should.
Okay.
And I say more than I should because sometimes, when you're just trying to help people all the time, you forget to help yourself.
Okay. Okay.
And as a man, sometimes, you don't have the ability to be like, per se, like talk to anyone about these things.
Okay. Okay.
Like as far as like the pressures that I was going through with school and the pressures of trying to go to the NFL and be this just big savior for my family. It did get overwhelming sometimes because it'd just be like, man, this is a lot on my plate. It's a lot on my plate. But I think it molded me into the person I am today in a positive way, because as I got older, I learned how to deal with the positive and the negative of helping people and just being there, and this pressure of you're going to make it, because I'm like the only person in my family that's went to college, to a 4-year college and graduate. So that pressure sometimes it got in the way, but I think it helped me in the long run also. So
can you share an experience where the pressure did get in the way, where you were feeling like, hey man, this is a lot on me?
One example in particular that kind of step out and where I'm at today is I had a relative that I was helping for, I would say, 2 or 3 years. Anything that person needed, I would be there for him. I opened my door to him. Like I had roommates at the time, and I'm letting them stay on the couch and different things like that. And I just felt that, at the time, I was his only relative in the area that can help. And recently, it took a turn, as far as helping and realizing, doing too much for people. And also the pressure of helping people, because I had to learn a life example that, just because you want to help a person doesn't mean that you're the person that's supposed to help them. I recently opened a business, and this person, they particularly did the type of work that I did in the business. And for the first time, it took a turn for me because I helped this person for years. You know, I helped them with whatever they needed, ride, food, car, place to stay, you know, just helping them out. And the final time that I needed that same help in return, of them helping me with my business, it seemed like it took a turn for the worse. The love wasn't like reciprocated the way that I was giving it, you know, as far as like me being there, like, hey man, like anything you need, just call me. You know, when I had to call them, it wasn't returned the same. And it kind of like put a stab in our relationship. But even to this day, I still love the person, you know, still care about the person. But that's like the first time in my life where I was like, it like opened up something for me as far as learning how to deal with people that you're trying to help. And that's why I say sometimes for me, I help people to a fault too much because I forget about myself sometimes.
You made an interesting statement, and you said, you know, the love wasn't reciprocated. I think sometimes it can be very interesting, just as a man. Sometimes we feel like we're doing so much for other people, we're helping people, and oftentimes people don't ask us about us. Oftentimes people don't check on us. Oftentimes people don't even, you know, see how we're doing. And so, you know, I kind of relate that to what you're saying in the sense that, you know, we show so much love, we provide, we do all of these different things for our family, for our friends. And oftentimes it's at the neglect of ourselves, and we, you know, wear ourselves out. We grind ourselves to the bone, you know what I mean? Doing and helping and working and doing all of this stuff for other people. And when it's not reciprocated and you get to a place where you feel like you're by yourself, you know, how did you handle that?
Well, I took a few different approaches during that time because for me, it was that pressure of helping that person, but also I had other people in my immediate family that I was helping that I felt like it was my job to help them. Like, you know, of course, everyone feels like it's their job to help their mother. You know, it's their job to help their brother, their sisters, especially for me being the only one that's quote unquote successful by, you know, you get the stamp of go to college, go to school, get a good job. That's success. And sometimes I think when people see that success, they don't understand what the individual actually went through. From the standpoint of, you know, it may look all glamorous, you know, it may look like I got a lot of money, it may look like I got all these resources, but I really don't. You know, I have them for my family and my house because I do have 2 kids. I have a wife. And I think sometimes some people don't respect you when you're coming into your manhood. From the standpoint of, you know, I say when you, I'm not gonna say when you get married, you're a man, but you know, when you got a house that you providing for and kids that you're putting food in their mouths and a shelter over their head, anything that is not that, those 3 people or those 4 people or 3 people in my house, you know, you're taking something from them. You know, you're taking something from them, and whatever I'm giving you, you know, you should appreciate it because I'm also like, I'm kind of putting my folks on the back burner helping you. And for me, I dealt with it with therapy. You know, I tried therapy because at one point in my time, and then, you know, in the last year or so, you know, I started questioning, what is my purpose? You know, what is my purpose? Like, I always used to want to be a nurse, but I wasn't a nurse. I ended up doing insurance. And so it was like, you know, insurance was like helping people. I did claims. I done sold insurance to people. I done underwritten things for people. And I was like, okay, I'm helping people. So I started trying to figure out, what is it, DeAndre? Like, for a while, I started seeing that, you know, helping people is not getting me nowhere. It's not getting me nowhere. So, you know, what is it? And so I started tapping into therapy, really start doing some self-reflecting of myself. I'm a big self-reflector. Like I'm my biggest critic to a fault sometimes. Like I'm always hard on myself, very, very hard on myself. You can ask anybody, it's like, oh yeah, he's hard on himself. Like he's just going hard. But honestly, I mean, if it wasn't for the therapy, talking with you sometimes in the chair, I mean, like, you know, I don't know. That's definitely what helped me, though. I mean, because I'm the type of person, when I got good relationships with people and great, like, fellowship and stuff like that, I try to tap into that, you know, because, I mean, I think we've been knowing each other probably about 2-3 years. Maybe even longer than that, if I can't remember.
It's been longer than that.
It's been longer than that. It's been longer than that. So, I mean, you know, when I went to therapy, the thing that stuck out about me was the therapist asked me a lot about my childhood. So it brought me back to a place like me even tapping into like my childhood and different things. She started asking me like, you know, why do you think you are the way you are now, and different things like that. And we were tapping into that, and I wrote some things down and her biggest thing was take the pressure off yourself. You know, just take the pressure off yourself. Like anything that you're thinking, like, because I used to have this thing of like whenever I'm in a room, I felt like people were talking to me or having thoughts about me. And she used to say like get rid of those thoughts. Like if it's not real, if you didn't hear it from somebody, get rid of it. So that was the biggest thing I had to learn during that time, as far as just, all right, you can help people, but you can help them from a certain extent. I think it was the first time that I had a really eye-open experience of just focus on yourself and your family for the first time. Just focus on myself. That was the biggest thing, was just like focusing on myself, my internal self of, all right, DeAndre, this is what you're going to do, you know.
Was it difficult when you made the decision to kind of prioritize yourself and your family? Because it's like I said, from what you're describing, it sounds like somebody who's lived a life that has really tried extensively to try to take care of the people around you. You know, hey man, I'm trying to put everybody on, and you know, I got this thing out the mud, and you know, here it is. I, you know, feel obligated. I feel responsible because I've had some success to, you know, make sure that everybody else around me is good. And what that leads to, like you said, is, hey man, I've often overlooked myself. Now, after going to therapy and, you know, you're doing some self-reflection and you beginning to really find that, hey, you need to prioritize you and you need to set boundaries, and you can help people, but there's limits to how you help people. How was that? Was that hard to put boundaries in? Was it difficult, or, you know, what was that experience like?
It was hard for me to put boundaries in. If you ask me early on, it was definitely hard for me to put boundaries in. I think the difficult part was just setting the boundary, you know, as far as like, hey person, you can't do this no more, you know, because the moment you cross that boundary, I have to move a certain way. You know, that's the biggest thing that I learned about setting boundaries. But now setting boundaries is easy for me, because I'm just like, my energy is such, I had to change my energy too a little bit. Like, stop worrying so much, you know, stop worrying about what people think about you. And then I think it's the syndrome of like, because I made it out, I have to go back and help, you know, or I have to show myself in a certain way so people know that I still care, even though I got out, you know. I start having those thoughts really when I moved from my hometown. I remember the day I packed up my car and moved to Georgia, and I remember crying in my car. Like, it was crazy, like, because it wasn't like a boohoo cry. It was like tears just falling on my face, and I'm just like, I know that wherever I'm going, I'm not coming back here. Wow. You know, I'm not coming back here. And then also, it did make me feel guilty when I used to go back. Like the first couple times I went back home, and seeing some of my friends and some of my close loved ones that I was around every day, and I'm just talking about my new life down in Georgia and like, the weather's this is so great, and just, what I'm doing in my life is so great. I don't think I'll be able to do it if I was still here. I did feel guilty. I used to feel guilty all the time. And I just went back home recently, and for the first time, I didn't feel guilty.
Okay. Why do you think that is?
I think it's the people that I surround myself with.
Okay.
When I went back home, and I remember talking to one of my best friends from high school, and I tell him all the time, man, your mind bigger than this city. And I say that in the most humblest way possible. And I told him, like, forgive me if I sound like I'm coming off any type of way. And he was like, man, why are you talking to me like that? Like, don't say that. Like, don't say, like, forgive me for coming off the type of way. Because I was like, I feel like, it can't sound pretty arrogant for somebody that made it out talking about all these issues and all these problems that's in our city, with the youth, and different things, and how, like, we can really rise ourselves up to get out of it, and for the first time, I didn't feel guilty, but before I used to feel guilty all the time, because it's like, why me? Why I'm the one that made it out? Why I'm the one that gets all this praise? I mean, because I would get praise from the school district, or I would get praise from everybody around me, like, oh, that's DeAndre. He handled his business. Like, he played football. He went to a 4-year school, and he's out of here now. Like, he's not here. He quote unquote made it.
I want to go back a little bit. I think you said that, you started seeing a therapist. Okay. How was that? What was that decision like? Okay. Because I know in the Black community, in the culture, you going to see a therapist, are you crazy? Is something wrong with you? Like, something, this, hey, man, he throw it off. You know what I'm saying? Like, did you question yourself? Did you think something was wrong with you? Like, the stigma that's associated with it, how did you get past that to make the decision that, hey, you know what, I'm gonna do this and see what's up, see what it's about?
It's so funny that you said what you said. I did feel like I was crazy a little bit. I felt that what I was going through, only I went through it. And just like the stigma you say of, like, I'm not going to see a therapist to talk about my problems. I really don't got any problems. It took me probably 2-3 months of having those questions in myself to actually talk to the therapist. When I started talking to her, it helped me put things in perspective. The biggest reason why I wanted to talk to her, because at the time I found myself in a very depressed state, real angry, just real sarcastic, just, again, not taking care of myself. Because
I'm sorry to cut you off. When you said you were in a depressed state, what was that like for you? How did you feel? I know you said you were angry, you were, not taking care of yourself. Describe that feeling if you can, because there are a lot of guys that deal with depression and don't realize that they're depressed. They don't understand, why they feel or why they're behaving the way that they are. Can you describe what it was like for you?
For me, I saw myself in a place where I would be looking on social media a lot. I would start comparing myself to things that I'm seeing on social media. It was a dark place, because it was like one of those feelings, like you'd be sitting down and everyone would be asking you, like, what's wrong? You'd be like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Everything could be good. Like, it could be a great day. I had a good day at work, had a good workout, whatever the case may be. But it was just something that just like, man, it's something just not right. Like, I don't know. It's just something wasn't right. And for me to really realize I was going through something, it had me like having conversations with my wife. You know what I'm saying? And like, she's big on therapy.
Okay.
So, she was already going to see a therapist, and some of the things that she was talking to me about therapy, and I was just like, man, maybe I need to go see a therapist. And then at the time, this was during COVID. So it's like, I'm used to going 8 hours a day somewhere, working. Now I'm at home working and doing those 8 hours. So for me, it really found caved in because I couldn't separate work and my regular life. It just felt like it was this movie that we was going through, of like just COVID. Like, when is this thing gonna end? And it felt like everything was closing in on me.
Did you feel like you were withdrawn? Did you not want to be around other people or anything like that? Did you recognize any symptoms like that or anything like that?
A little bit. I start, anytime somebody said they wanted to come over or anything, I just find a good reason not to. I would get invited to go places and I'd just be like, not today. Or I would agree to it early in the week and then the day of find a reason to say, oh, I can't make it.
Tell me this, man. How would you describe how talking about what you were dealing with rather than keeping it bottled up inside and thinking about everything in your mind, how did talking help you? How did that ease the pain or help you deal with the stress?
It helped me not make irrational decisions, emotional decisions. Sometimes just getting it out, you get a better perspective on what you're actually going through. Because as humans, we have thoughts in our heads all the time, and some of those thoughts are good thoughts. Some of the thoughts is bad thoughts. Yeah. They could eat you alive. And the thing about me with communicating and talking, it helps me get it out. It helps me feel good, because a lot of times, like, after I talk about it, I can see everything that I need out of a situation to move forward. I used to tell you all the time, like, it's this fear of, like, talking to another man about your problems, because as a man, you're told you can't talk about your problems. You talking about your problems like, what, you some type of soft guy? Yeah. Like, you some type of soft guy. You don't talk about your problems. But I think embracing that fact of, I can talk. There's other like-minded people like me that may be going through the same thing I'm going through. And, some of the biggest things I've done ever overcame, it came from having conversations with people.
I just want to just say, man, let me commend you for one, having the courage to fight through, the thoughts that you were having in your mind, in your head, that you were, battling and struggling with, and, making a decision to prioritize yourself and your well-being, mental and physical well-being, in the sense that, like, hey, man, you decided to go. That's a huge step. Like I said, I know it's really difficult. As men, we feel like we're strong. I got this. I can handle this. But sometimes we need help. And there's nothing wrong with saying, I need help. There's nothing wrong with going to sit and talk with people. And, I can definitely tell you that I love the conversations that we have, and the fact that, part of what I do is, as a barber, I want to be able to create the space for men to be able to have conversations. The stuff that we often hold inside, the stuff that we don't talk about. I want to create that space and provide that for men just to be able to express it, because I feel like it's better out than in. You know what I mean? And, you holding on to it, like you said, some of the conversations you walked away and you have, just had a little bit more clarity and you could see things, and so I don't mind being that soundboard, but I think you are lucky to have a wife, to have a partner, to have a spouse that is a safe place. A lot of the men that I speak with, a lot of the men that I talk to, don't have that. They don't get that support from their spouse, and so I think that makes the situation even, worse. And more difficult to deal with when you don't have that support coming from, somebody who's supposed to be in this thing with you. And so it's one of those situations where I'm grateful. I feel like my wife is a great help for me as well. But what would you say to the men that don't have that? How would you encourage them, or what piece of advice would you give to them if they don't have that? If they don't have that spouse or that person that they feel like they can, talk to, they don't have.
If you don't have that person, I think you can always find that person. Maybe it's not necessarily the opposite sex. Okay. Maybe it's a brother, or maybe it's a friend, somebody that you trust having these conversations with. I think the biggest battle as a man is trusting the people that you're having these type of conversations with. Because the biggest thing is like being judged, being perceived as weak. And like you said earlier, the best way is to get it out sometimes. So if you don't got that person, maybe writing it down on a book, a piece of paper, or really, really, really reaching out to a therapist. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it was so crazy. I didn't even know that talk to a therapist was covered under my insurance.
Oh, wow.
Like as a free benefit for me to do a certain amount of time. So, I think if you don't have that person, look into therapy. There's nothing wrong with it. Like I'm telling you, like, and I did it a few times. It helped me a lot. Like I probably had about 4 sessions with a therapist, and it helped me so much. And it's more than just having a conversation, because she leaves you with points for you to work on for the next conversation, or to help you better yourself. And then, like I said, having other people to talk to. I talked to you, Josh. I talked to some of my close friends that I done worked with in the past. Just really, really, really tapping into people that's real people. Surround yourself with like-minded people. It's the best thing for you. Because you don't have to worry about the negativity when you got like-minded people around you, because that's when you can really sit down and have real conversations. Okay. Like real conversations with people on, hey man, I'm going through this. Like, you ever been through this before?
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how many people actually been in the same situation like you. We need more fellowship as men, as black men. You know what I'm saying? So like, you need that. You really do need that, because since I've been here in Georgia, some of the fellowship I done had with some of the men that I done had, it's gonna be life forever. It's not going nowhere. I mean, so many of my brothers, I could just pick up the phone. What's going on, man? Like, what you been up to? Like, what you going on? What you got going on? And then I even, some of my friends that I done grew up with over life, we always just pick up the phone, see how checking in. Yeah. Checking in is cool. Checking in is cool.
It's really powerful that you say that. That's part of the reason that I'm doing what I'm doing, and I want to be very intentional and purposeful about it, is because I think men need to be able to connect with other men and to build relationships and build that camaraderie, and just the fellowship, the brotherhood that comes with that. I think when we build that develops the trust that you spoke of before. When I understand you and I can relate to you and I look at you as my brother, I don't necessarily look at you in judgment. Oh man, you're dealing with this, you got this going on, like, damn, this is what he got going on or whatever. But I have a lot more empathy and compassion, and I can just listen and we can connect on a whole nother level, man. And I think, you were spot on when you said that, a lot of men don't open up because it's hard to trust the men that they have in their corner. And, what I'll just say to, the listeners and the men that are hearing this message, or that are going to hear this message, look at the people that you have around you. You said surround yourself with good quality people on a regular basis, and if you feel like the men that you have in your circle are not men that you can count on, men that you can go to in confidence and share what's on your heart, what's on your mind, the things that you're dealing with, maybe, just maybe, you might need to get rid of some of those people, man. Some of those people might be family members. Some of those people might be people that you've had, extremely long relationships with, but look at the quality of the relationship and look what you're getting from the relationship. If it's not serving you, if it's not encouraging you, helping you to evolve, to grow, to be better, then what's the point of having that relationship? What's the point of spending energy and time trying to cultivate a relationship that's not serving you? I'm glad that you said that. Checking in is cool, man. This episode was called a wellness check. And it was just, me wanting to, check in with men and just see, what this process has been like. I'm so glad that you're advocating for, therapy and going to see a counselor or therapist and talking. And, I think it goes back to what you said earlier, you prioritizing yourself and you working on you. One of the best investments that we can make as men, as individuals in life, is the investment in self and you understanding yourself. You said you would ask questions, why do you think that, you behave this way, or you do this, or you do that? And those are a lot of questions that oftentimes we just go through life on autopilot and we don't stop and think. We don't sit and ask those questions to ourselves to really figure out and dive in to why we function and behave the way that we do, man. And I think that therapy is a wonderful thing, man. I think that it is really, really powerful, and it's really, really helpful to be able to talk and to share and to, get a different perspective that will help you grow, evolve, and understand you, because sometimes we don't understand ourselves. We don't know.
It's tough though. I mean, it cuts you off. It's tough. It's definitely tough to look into yourself. It's very tough. And then even trying to talk to a therapist, like I said, it took me 3 months to actually go. So my biggest thing is I don't got no problems. Ain't nothing wrong with me. Ain't nothing wrong with me. But something clearly was. I
think that it's great that you were able to have that experience, because I think a lot of times people normalize pushing things or sweeping things under the rug and not dealing with stuff. We don't want to really deal with it. And we, put a Band-Aid on it. And, I've seen and I've talked to a lot of guys that, again, they've turned to alcohol, they've turned to, smoking, whether that's weed, whether that's, cigarettes or something like that. They've turned to sex, all of these different things, trying to fix or fill a void because of something that's going on, but they haven't looked inward.
I try to tell people, don't let outside society judge you. I think the biggest thing as a man is just, you got to find what works for you. What works for me may not work for Josh. What works for Josh may not work for me. But you got to find out what works for you. I think that's the biggest thing.
DeAndre, man, I really appreciate you taking the time, bro, to share your story, to share your experience, and, to provide some wisdom from your experience with the men and the people that will hear this, man. I'm grateful for it. I know that, this will be a blessing to, all those that hear it, man. And I know that people will definitely be able to relate and understand. And I think a lot of what you're saying, it'll resonate with them. And my last thing is this, man, for the young DeAndre that's out there listening right now, give him some words of advice, give him some wisdom to the young cat that's out there struggling and dealing with some stuff. And he's going through a similar situation that you went through, man. What's your last, piece of advice that you would give him, or that you would tell your younger self, man?
I would say, trust yourself, really listen to yourself. Listen to your intuition. That's the biggest thing. Control your controllables. Okay. Control your controllables. Can you control it? That stress, is it something that you can control? Okay. My biggest thing is it something that's important today? Okay. Is it something that can wait? That's my biggest thing, is I try to control what I can control. If I can't control it, there's no reason for me to stress over it. I would say don't quit and find your purpose. Really, really find what you like to do. Don't do what everybody tell you to do. Everybody tell you oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. Do what you want to do. And it's okay. Like, it's okay to do what you want to do, even if it sounds crazy to other people. If it sounds good to you, don't quit. Focus on it. Do it. That's the biggest thing I'll tell anybody that was my age that time, or any young man that's out here now. Just focus on whatever your purpose is and just don't quit. It's going to get a little gray sometimes, but as long as you don't quit, you're going to prevail.
Hey, man, I appreciate you again, man. Thank you for joining the Authentic Exchange. I'm your host, Josh Bird, and I'll holler at you next time.